You want to know the secret to unstoppable power? It's not in the noise, it's not in the crowd, it's in the silence. If you're still running from solitude, you're running from your own greatness. Because the strongest men you'll ever meet, they weren't built in comfort. They were forged in isolation. In the moments when no one clapped, no one watched, no one cared. Being alone strips away the fake. The masks fall, the noise dies, and what's left is you. Unfiltered, raw, uncomfortable, but real. And that version of you, that's the one you build from. That's the one you mold into a weapon. But here's what most men can't handle. Solitude forces you to face the truth. The truth about your lack of discipline, your soft habits, your weak mind, the areas you've been ignoring because life was too loud. No distractions, no applause, just you and your reflection. Most break at that point, but the strong, they use that silence to reconstruct themselves. If you're ready for that kind of power, stay with me. And if this already hit you, comment this below. Strength is built in silence. Subscribe if you're building in silence. This channel was made for warriors like you. You ever notice how the world hates silence? It blasts music, throws endless content, keeps you distracted 24/7. Because if you sit with yourself long enough, you'll start to see everything they never wanted you to notice. You'll notice the weakness in your routines, the laziness in your thoughts, the fear behind every excuse. That's why most men never sit in silence. It exposes the soft foundation they've been standing on. But real strength, it's built when you stay anyway. When you don't need a podcast, a phone, a voice to drown the one that matters, your own. See, in solitude, the real war begins. The war between who you are and who you're supposed to be. You'll feel the pull to go back to the noise, back to distractions, back to comfort. But that's the trap. Solitude will test your identity. It'll ask you, are you built by validation or by discipline? Because the man who can be alone and still move forward, he's dangerous. He's not chasing approval. He's building legacy. So when the silence hits and the war inside begins, don't run, breathe, watch, break apart if you must, then rebuild harder. Now comment below the code for real men. Discipline over noise. At some point, solitude doesn't just feel quiet. It feels heavy. It feels like the weight of your past is sitting right on your chest. All the regrets, all the failures, all the decisions you avoided, they come back to you, not to destroy you, but to confront you. You'll start to feel guilt. You'll hear the echo of missed opportunities. You'll question your worth. And that's the moment most give up. They run back to people, to comfort, to noise, just to avoid themselves. But listen to me. Pain is the price of power. Silence is the forge. And guilt is the hammer. If you're feeling the sting of past failures, good. It means your standards are rising. It means you're not okay with staying soft anymore. This pain is your material. Shape it, use it, break under it if you have to, but rebuild as something unrecognizable. You're not meant to live inside your regrets. You're meant to learn from them, burn with them, and rise beyond them. So when the darkness of solitude brings your worst moments to the surface, don't run, don't escape, Sit with them, study them, then let them fuel your rise. Now comment this if you've decided to face everything. I rebuild from regret. If this message hits home, honor it with a like. Now, just because you're alone doesn't mean you're growing. Solitude without direction is just slow destruction. Some men mistake being isolated with being disciplined. They hide in silence, but they're not building anything. No goals, no actions, just passive pain. Don't confuse stillness with strength. Power comes from structure. So here's what most don't realize. Real solitude needs strategy. It needs a daily rhythm, a repeatable process, something that turns silence into sharpening. Wake up with a mission. Move your body. Train your mind. Cut out weak habits. Create a system that demands discipline. Otherwise, you're just drifting in darkness thinking it's deep work. Deep work hurts. It's repetitive. It's lonely. It's ugly. And that's why it transforms you. Solitude should look like 5 a.m. wake-ups, cold showers, workout sessions in silence, reading, journaling, self-interrogation. That's how warriors are built. Solitude without structure is survival. But solitude with structure, that's rebirth. Now comment below the blueprint. Structure builds strength. This is where the pain sharpens. Because once you build structure, you have no more excuses. You can't blame distractions. You can't blame the world. You're finally face to face with you. And here's what hits hard. The voice in your head starts telling you it's too much, that you've done enough, that you've earned a break. But that's comfort calling. That's the old version of you begging for mercy. You didn't choose solitude just to rest. You chose solitude to rebuild into something savage. So this is the real test. Can you stay consistent even when nothing around you changes? Can you keep going even when progress feels invisible? This is where men quit. When the high of motivation dies, when routine feels boring, when silence turns into doubt. But if you stay, if you hold the line, if you trust the process, you don't just get stronger, you become unshakable. Discipline doesn't care how you feel. It only cares if you show up every single day. This is how monsters are made, not by intensity, but by consistency. Now comment this if you've decided to outlast your weaker self. Consistency is my weapon. Turn on notifications. Greatness won't wait. Every day you repeat the grind, something inside you changes. Not loudly, not instantly, but permanently. You don't see it at first, but the discipline is rewriting your mind. You're no longer the man who waits. You've become the man who acts. While others chase motivation, you build momentum. While others collapse under boredom, you rise in silence. But let's be real. This isn't glamorous. There's no spotlight, no applause, just hours of repetition in the dark. And that's where most break. Because they think growth should feel exciting. They want fireworks, not slow fire. But greatness isn't loud. It's consistent. It's quiet. It's hidden in your habits. The real power, it's in doing the same boring thing again and again until it becomes automatic. Discipline turns effort into instinct, and that's when you stop thinking. You just execute. no questions, no doubts, just results. Now, if you're ready to choose that kind of power, comment below. Repetition builds monsters. You've stayed consistent. You've chosen the lonely path. And now you've arrived here, where solitude becomes your sharpest tool. Because here's what most don't understand. Being alone doesn't mean being lost. It means being focused. It means you've silenced the noise so you can hear the truth. In solitude, distractions die, validation fades, and what's left? You. Raw, unfiltered, ready for war. It's where you realize no one's coming to save you. And that's not a tragedy. It's your awakening. Because once you stop waiting, you start building. You stop doubting, and you start deciding. Solitude teaches you to lead yourself when there's no one to follow, to fight when no one believes in you, to show up even when no one's watching. That's power. That's self-mastery. And that's what separates the strong from the weak. If you've come this far, you're not just surviving solitude, you're mastering it. And in the next videos, I'll show you how to turn this silent power into unstoppable momentum. Don't miss them. No one's teaching what I'm about to show you. You've built alone. You've broken limits no one even saw. You've stayed when it was easier to quit. That's not weakness. That's not luck. That's power, earned in silence. Now you've reached the point where solitude turns to clarity. Clarity turns to confidence. And confidence becomes your new identity. Not the man who needs validation, not the man who waits for motivation, but the man who creates himself from discipline, from scars, from silence. You've proven something greater than strength. You've proven control, not over others, but over yourself. And that's rare. That's dangerous. Because the man who controls himself can no longer be controlled, not by pain, not by fear, not by failure, not even by time. You are not broken. You are rebuilt. You are not alone. You are focused. You are not waiting. You are moving. So now, the only question left is, what's the one thing you've been avoiding that you know would change your life? If you just had the discipline to face it, drop it in the comments, say it, own it, and maybe, finally, destroy it.